The Google Lunar X PRIZE. It's a long story, but I'll keep it short. It started in college, and when I was in college, if you were into space, specifically human spaceflight, pretty much the only game in town back then was NASA. And so as a student, a lot of us were interested in going to work in the space industry. A lot of us were going towards NASA. And then when I was a senior in college, the NSRE X Prize was won. And it really kind of got me thinking, like, oh, maybe there's other things I can do. And I love commercial space. I think it's the way that people like myself and you can eventually go to space, and that is ultimately my goal. So that kind of got me started on that path. I did go work at NASA for a little while, and then kind of decided I wanted to come over into the commercial side, and ultimately combined kind of my love of website design with my engineering background, and ended up at the Google Lunar X Prize. It was kind of the perfect storm for me, I guess. My worlds collided. So that's how I ended up doing online community management at X Prize.
Yeah. What exactly is online community management?
It's basically trying to do some outreach online to communities maybe that we don't reach normally, I guess, within the space industry. It's kind of making it like an open conversation with anyone who wants to follow the prize. We have a website, we have blogs, we have YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere people want to reach us and find out about our teams or the competition itself. We're there for people to talk to them about this competition, and it can be from any background, not just space and science and technical fields.
What would be an example of a background that wasn't from one of those fields?
Well, actually one time I remember I was at South by Southwest, which is basically, somebody described to me one time as where the whole internet meets in person. And I was doing a presentation, and somebody came up to me afterwards, and they were working on a degree at George Washington University. It wasn't related to space, even though they have a space policy school. And they were interested in how they might be able to get involved in the space industry. So I talked to them over Twitter after the conference and got them involved with something called Space Up, which is an unconference. It's open to anybody who wants to come talk about space. And because of this person, they ended up hosting Space Up DC at George Washington University. And this person got involved with the space industry in general, met a lot of people that they wouldn't have met normally. And that's one of the stories I like about how anyone can really get involved if they're passionate and start interacting with the space industry.
And that person wouldn't have been Michael Dornbos, would it?
It was not, but I introduced them to Michael Dornbos because, yes, he is a big space guy over there. And he's also a good example of someone who's very good at reaching people online.
Tell us about the Google Lunar X Prize for those who have been living under a rock or for some other reason don't know about it.
Sure. It's a $30 million prize purse, total prize purse, put up by Google, and it's being run by the X Prize Foundation. And the prize is $20 million grand prize to the first team that's privately funded. They can land a robot on the moon, go 500 meters, about a third of a mile, and send back some high-definition video and imagery. And the first team that does that gets $20 million, second team $5 million, and then there's $5 million in bonus prizes for things like visiting Apollo heritage sites or surviving a lunar night or going 10 times the range that we initially put out. All kinds of interesting things that we would like to see these teams do in addition to just winning the prize. And our hope is really that, not only is somebody going to win this prize, but they're going to help kickstart a new commercial lunar industry. And based on the teams that we have involved right now, I really think that's going to happen. We have 26 teams currently entered in the competition. They're from all around the world, and a lot of countries that don't even have a space program are home to some of these teams, and those teams are helping write space policy in those countries. We have lots of education outreach going on all around the world. It's just a really dynamic, interesting competition to keep track of.
I find it fascinating that countries that don't even have a space program have a team that's competing in the Google Lunar X Prize.
Right. We have several of those. We have a team in Malaysia, Hungary, Israel, Romania. I mean, just a few of them that are actively working towards winning this prize. And they're really, their countries are behind them on this. They're excited about the science and technology that might come out of this, and education outreach, and they're supporting the teams. So
they're going to wind up, each of these countries is going to wind up with a space program.
I hope so.
Due to
Our Malaysian team was just telling us about a month ago that they are sitting down with their government helping write the space policy for Malaysia, which is incredible. Great things like that coming out of it.